Hello, thanks very much for joining me again. Today's video is going to be about click pens. Now I'm not going to be making a click pen. The reason for me doing this is because we've had several people contact us that have had difficulty in getting a couple of the click pen kits to work and aren't quite sure about how to assemble the click mechanism. So if you know all that already, that's fine. You probably don't need to watch the rest of the video. But if you're new to click pens and have really only done things like slimline pens, God forbid, and other twist type pen kits, click pen kits might be a little bit new to you. So I'm going to look at two pen kits today. Forgive me for fiddling in my little box of goodies here. Our Atom click pen kit and our Elliott click pen kit. They're very similar, and the basic principle behind them is the movement, lateral movement between two fixed points. Unlike a twist mechanism where you can generally push the bits a bit close together or pull them a bit further apart, a click mechanism is not like that at all. And they must be made to a specific length and the specific length of the tubes, and I'm actually going to put one together wrong to show you why that is the case, and also show you a mechanism and actually how it works, because it really helps to understand what happens inside a click mechanism, to understand how it goes together and how it works and what the springs do. So I'm, as always, going to point the camera away from myself, which will be a relief to everyone, point it at my little box of goodies here and show you the principles behind making and assembling a click pen kit. Firstly, I'll apologise for my little injury here. I had a little bit of a fight with the drill and I lost. Right, the Elliott click pen kit, as you will see I'm about to do here. First of all, I'm just going to show you that they all work. Hopefully you can hear and see there's a really quite a nice action on the pen kit. What I'm going to do first of all is actually take some measurements, and I'm hoping that the camera will pick up this. I have to watch what I'm doing, obviously. So I've got 126.17 on that measurement, and if I do the black one, you'll see I'm measuring the same points, 125.78, and the antique bronze one, 126.61. so they're within a millimetre probably of each other, and they all work fine. Now, one of the problems, because a click pen kit has to travel a certain distance, is that particularly with one of these kits where you've got two tubes, when it comes to trimming the pen blanks, if you trim a millimetre off a pen blank, when you trim it, we've got four ends here, so potentially if you trim a millimetre off four ends, you've taken off 4 millimeters, and that is the primary reason that people struggle with these pen kits, because they're not like a twist pen kit. And what I'm going to do to actually illustrate that is I'm going to take this pen, which actually isn't particularly nice and we rarely use, and I'm actually going to remove 4 millimeters from the end. It's going to look absolutely horrible, but just to show what I'm doing, let's just take that measurement again, and I've got some spare bits and pieces. So 125.89 is the measurement, so we should be going down to about 121.89 by the time I've sanded this off, and then we'll see what happens. So here is the one that and you can see it's horrible where I've just trimmed it off. Let's just measure that again so you can see the measurement that I've got on it. 121.84, so that's pretty much the length I was trying to get it to, and you can see this is rather accentuated because the nib is sticking out already, and that click mechanism is disengaged, and if I press that, you'll see it's not clicking, it's just bouncing up and down because the pen refill is getting so far in the nib and it gets stuck there because it hits the inside of the nib, and the mechanism hasn't been able to move up and down far enough to engage itself. So you'll either get it bouncing up and down like so, or quite often you'll just get it, if I just loosen that off a little bit, there you go, it's stuck. You can see that's stuck now, and if I loosen it and get it to the right, more towards the right length, there you go, it pops back in. And that's just to demonstrate that the length of the kit is absolutely critical for any click pen kit. So having established that, what we now need to do is look at how we actually put together and how a click mechanism works. So here I've got all the bits of the click mechanism. Let me move some of these other bits that we're not going to use out the way to save any confusion, and let's just look at the mechanism part itself. Right, the click mechanism for a lot of click pen kits, certainly our Elliott, comes in 4 parts. There's the outer sheath, there's the pins themselves, which are here, which you can pull apart but you don't need to, and usually these come, I don't think I've ever seen one disassembled, that they come like that and with a spring. Now obviously this confuses some people and I'm not quite sure why, but I'm just going to explain how they actually work. If you look inside the sheath there, I don't know whether you'll be able to see, perhaps if I turn it around that way, you can see there's some little lugs on the inside and there's some little lugs on the outside of this here, and this turns round and turns the mechanism round, and for each turn of this mechanism, one quarter turn engages and 1 quarter turn disengages, and that's where you get the in and out. So if I put this in like so, you cannot assemble this click mechanism like this as it is. You need to use the other part of the pen kit, and it goes in like so. Now the next question is, do I need special tools to do it? No, you don't, because what you've actually got is a refill, and the refill pushes up. I'm struggling to hold this a little bit. Right, you might need to, sorry if I've gone off camera, you might need to wiggle it just a little bit, but what you should get is the refill pushing the inner parts up, so you've got your little plastic part with the thread on the end appearing there, if you can see that. Then the spring drops over the end like so, and it's really not under any pressure, and then you have your little click button and that screws on the end like so. And hopefully what happens is, if I hold that, you can see that clicking in and out. So this one's the most difficult to do when it's not fitted into the actual kit itself. The other important thing to note with this particular kit is that the centre band is really important which way it goes. So there's a long one and a short one, and the long one goes up there because it holds this outer sheath in place to make sure that the sheath stays in place. If you fit it the wrong way round, what happens is when you press that, the sheath slides down and then you won't be able to engage and disengage the mechanism yet again. So that's this particular kit. What I'm going to do now is just show you one of our new Atom 2 kits. They used to come fully assembled, the newer ones don't, and they come with it's part assembled, but I'll show you how that fits together now, because it's basically exactly the same principle. In fact, it's exactly the same parts. So here we've got the Atom 2 pen kit, and the newer models and specifications do change, I have to say. Whatever it says on the videos, you need to look at the fitting instructions, fitting guides. These two parts come pre-assembled, so again, to assemble this, and I haven't got all the parts ready, have I? I haven't got the push button. Right, there we go, now I've got the push button ready as well. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is push those two parts up there. I'm going to use the refill to locate that up there. I'm going to drop the spring over the top. I'm going to screw the little cap onto there. And it's also important to mention, normally they only go so far, but if you screw the push button on too far, that can also prevent the mechanism from going up and down. But there again, you can hopefully see the mechanism moving in and out. And they're really nice mechanisms. They're pretty simple. There's really not much to go wrong with them. So you can see how simple it is to actually put that together. And once it's together, that won't come apart because it's screwed either end. But I think people possibly get confused thinking the spring goes in this end where they don't. The mechanism in that end, the spring and the button the other end, and they move either side of this piece here, as you can see. So what else can go wrong with a click pen? Not a lot. You think that works nicely, and it does, no problem at all. How can we stop it working nicely? Well, that's actually very simple. Not that you'd want to, but if you turn the spring round on there and put it back together, you might find it either doesn't work. It's putting quite a pressure on that. Not working at all. I think if I force it, it probably would come out. But something as simple as turning the spring round at this end can affect how the pen will work, and that's because basically you're changing the resistance all the way along there. So no, I can't. However hard I push it, I can't actually get that in and out. It's just not right. There's something catching in here and in there. It just doesn't work properly. So something, as I say, as simple as putting that on the correct way and getting the right tension. Now you'll see, there you go, there's your thing going in and out, and that will work fine again. So I've done that all in one shot, so you can see I'm not cheating. As something as simple as just changing the spring at this end can have a huge effect on how the pen works. And the other thing to say is, when you look at refills, you would think Parker style refills are all the same. I haven't got any here, and it'd be very difficult to show you on a camera, but not all Parker refills have exactly the same design up here. Our gel refill is slightly different to our own refills here. If you get a genuine Parker one, you'll find they're very slightly different, and it only takes a fraction of a millimetre difference for refills to work in pens and not work in pens. But generally, if you make sure that the kit is made to the right length, the springs are the right way round, and the click mechanism is assembled properly, you will have a nice reliable click pen kit. And I've had these, I've made tens and tens of them. I've never ever had one that I couldn't get working by simply changing the spring or just fertling around with it, as long as it's the right length. If it's the wrong length or the part's in the wrong place, you will struggle with it. And unfortunately, when they're assembled like this, you can't see what's going on in there. But hopefully you'll have a bit more idea as to how the entire mechanism works now, and the things that you can do to make sure you get a reliable click pen. So I hope that's been useful. Here's the click pens, 1, 2, 3, 4, all working, and there's the one that I've absolutely ruined. Oh, it has just popped back in, but it will. There you are, it's stuck again now. Right, hopefully I've made my point there. I hope that's been useful for anyone that's a little bit confused about click pen kits. Generally, they're very, very reliable. I'm afraid to say that if you've got major problems with them, it's probably something you've done. As always, if I can help any more, drop us an email. Happy to help if we can, and I've got time to reply. Thanks very much for joining me again, and we'll see you at the next video. Take care. Bye bye for now.